one last desperate trick from the desperate trickster. Go ahead.
The TVA is lying to you.
Put him in.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in Loki Episode 4.
After all your struggle, at last you've arrived before us.
That's what I like to do. Just riding around on my jet ski.
This time, I finished the job.
For this list, we're looking at the Easter eggs, comic book references, and MCU callbacks you might have missed in this episode of the Disney Plus series. Since we'll be talking about every detail, it's time to give a spoiler warning. Which of these Loki moments surprised you the most? And did you notice that when Sylvie got to the test if you're a robot machine, there were scorch marks on the ground from someone who failed? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, the second Asgardian story to reference vampires in the MCU. When Mobius is talking about the kinds of variants he brings into the TVA, he casually rattles off 3 different types of beings.
You know, we brought in Kree, Titans, vampires. Why is it the 2 orphan demigods are such a pain in the ass?
Although we already knew that Kree and Titans exist in the MCU, his statement further confirms the existence of vampires. But it's not the first time a story about an Asgardian referenced bloodsuckers. While Thor is preparing to fight in the arena during Thor Ragnarok, Korg gives us a hilarious line about vampires.
Oh, Thor, want to use a big wooden fork?
No.
Yeah, not really useful unless you're fighting off 3 vampires that were huddled together.
Seeing our favorite rocky alien and Mobius acknowledge bloodsuckers seems to confirm they exist across space and time. It looks like Mahershala Ali will have his hands full when he eventually takes up the role of Blade in the MCU.
There are watchers behind the eyes all over the city. Pretty common now.
Number 9. Sylvie's room number and escape method are deep comic callbacks.
She in there? They don't go gently, do they?
After Sylvie is captured by the TVA, she's placed in Time Theater 47. In the comics, Loki hatched a wild escape plan to defy fate in What If issue 47. But the numbers are not the only similarities between the book and the show. The comic version of Loki was only able to escape his magical prison and mess with the flow of time because he made Heimdall shed a tear. This moment perfectly mirrors Sylvie's plotline in the show. After she makes Hunter B-15 emotional, the TVA agent shows up later on to help the Asgardian escape.
For all time. Always.
While 2 versions of Loki escaped in similar ways, Sylvie seems to have much better intentions than her sinister comic counterpart.
The timekeepers took your lives from you. From all of you. Your variants. We're the same.
Number 8. Kaylee Fleming plays yet another kid separated from her parents.
There's our variant. On the authority of the Timekeepers, I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline. Reset it.
Wait! Sylvie's younger self was played by the talented Kaylee Fleming. In her brief time on the show, she perfectly portrays the heavy emotional journey of a child who's been separated from her parents. Fleming has had a lot of practice playing similar characters in multiple franchises. In the new Star Wars trilogy, she plays a young Rey Skywalker when her parents leave her on Jakku. Fleming also had a similar tragic turn when she played Judith Grimes on The Walking Dead. Years after her father Rick gets separated from the group, her mother Michonne leaves to find him.
If I go...
When you go, and when you find him.
While Fleming is great in all these roles, we hope she gets to play characters with happier journeys in the future.
I love you and your brother so much.
Love you too, Mom. Go get him.
Number 7. Ravonna's dark parallels to THANOS.
Knew I was your favorite analyst. Was that so hard to admit?
While Ravonna was initially presented to us as a fair judge, she took many sinister turns in the 4th episode. A lot of her wicked actions reflect a few of Thanos' worst crimes. While Ravonna deleted her favorite analyst, the Mad Titan executed his most beloved daughter. Speaking of Thanos, after a future version of him destroyed Wanda's life, his past self confronted an angry Scarlet Witch and said he didn't remember what he did to her.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
Ravonna similarly didn't recall exactly why she tore Sylvie's life apart.
Must have been important. So what was it?
I don't remember.
But the most disturbing parallel between the TVA judge and Thanos is that they both believe their actions are for the greater good. As the Mad Titan taught us, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Friendship like ours is uncommon. And worth fighting for. Same as the sacred timeline.
Number 6. Mobius was saved by a green-themed character in the comics.
You!
Sif!
You conniving, craven, pathetic worm!
We screamed at our screens when Mobius was eliminated by a TVA baton. Fortunately, we discovered there is a strong chance that he was actually transported to a dangerous land. Since he doesn't seem to have his normal weapons, he'll probably need help from Loki to survive.
So I just have to trust the word of 2 Lokis? How about the word of a friend?
This is a great parallel to the time when Mobius judged the very green She-Hulk's trial in the comics. When a villain breaks into the courtroom, he nearly erases the judge with a TVA weapon. But She-Hulk steps in and saves the day. While Loki couldn't stop Mobius from suffering at the hands of a TVA weapon, maybe this green-themed character could save the analyst's life.
You were right from the beginning. And if you want to save her, you need to trust me. Can we do that?
Yes.
Number 5. An alternate Lady Sif gets karmic justice for another Loki's crimes.
You!
Sif!
You conniving, craven, pathetic worm!
Lady Sif made an equally hilarious and sad return to the MCU in the 4th episode. When the TVA traps Loki in a time loop prison, she repeatedly hits him with physical and verbal blows. He definitely earned Sif's anger in the original timeline. During Thor: The Dark World, the God of Thunder breaks Loki out of prison for a mission. On the way out of Asgard, Sif physically and verbally threatens the God of Mischief.
Betray, and I'll kill you.
It's good to see you too, Sif.
He apparently returned the favor by banishing her from Asgard while he was impersonating Odin. Although the show's Loki technically never banned Sif from the realm, he would have if he had stayed on his proper timeline. So, in a way, he kind of had Lady Sif's time loop torment coming.
You are alone. And you always will be.
Number 4. The one who created the Timekeepers. Upon discovering that the Timekeepers are advanced androids, Loki asks,
Then who created the TVA?
There's an answer to that question in the comics. All 3 Timekeepers were made by a former TVA director named He Who Remains. When the entire universe was about to end, He Who Remains helped create 3 beings to take care of what came next. But after the entities went rogue and were called Time Twisters, he essentially erased them from existence and started over by making Timekeepers. It's possible He Who Remained created them after the multiverse war the show mentioned.
Countless unique timelines battled each other for supremacy, nearly resulting in the total destruction of, well, everything. But then the all-knowing Timekeepers emerged.
While we're unsure who went on to make the androids, it's clear someone's using the Timekeepers for their own twisted goals.
Mindless androids.
It never stops.
Number 3. Ravonna could be standing in for a bigger villain.
Do you remember me?
I do. What do you want to say to me, Variant?
Given that Ravonna is the type of person who would figuratively and literally stab someone in the back, she's definitely in the running to be the show's main villain. But she may be standing in for a bigger threat. In the comics, Kang the Conqueror rules over an empire that can freely manipulate time and space. When he falls into a coma, Ravonna uses technology to look like him in order to keep her subjects in line. But she later revives Kang from his coma to reclaim his power after her lies are exposed. Multiple characters on Loki now know that Ravonna's been hiding huge secrets.
C20? The Variant? All these questions, what are you getting at?
I don't know. Something just seems a little off.
Now that she's backed into a corner, will she call upon the MCU's Kang the Conqueror?
Do it. No. You're gonna tell me everything.
Number 2, Loki meeting many variants may help complete his character arc.
What is it?
Shortly after we breathed a sigh of relief that the Loki we've been following is alive, we saw 4 more God of Mischief variants appear. While we loved hammer-wielding, boastful Loki and the reptile version of the character, it's the other 2 that hinted at a pivotal comic moment.
We're looking for a Loki, a variation of this guy. A type we should all be very familiar with.
The Agents of Asgard comics saw a new Loki struggle to avoid his destiny of becoming a villain. He's finally able to break free of his evil expectations after he has a dramatic conversation with a version of himself in his classic outfit and Kid Loki. Since those 2 characters appear to be on the show, they may nudge the God of Mischief we know towards a more noble path.
You can be whoever, whatever you want to be, even someone good. I mean, just in case anyone ever told you different.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. A Grim Avengers Callback. As Loki awakens in a strange land, you can hear a variation of Alan Silvestri's "I'll Take That Drink Now."
Am I dead?
Not yet. But you will be unless you come with us.
This song was first played after Loki lost the Battle of New York in the Avengers.
If it's all the same to you, I'll have that drink now.
But that wasn't the only reference to the 2012 film. If you look behind the Lokis, you'll see what looks like the ruins of Avengers Tower in the background. Since this land seems to exist beyond time, is there a reality where the heroes lost the 2012 fight? And if so, is there a victorious and very dangerous Loki lurking in this realm? No matter what the story is behind the ruined tower, its presence is a bad omen for the God of Mischief and the Avengers who saw the building crumble.
We'll lose. And we'll do that together too.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.